What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. Today I'm doing a video that I'm actually very excited about. It's one that I've been wanting to do for a pretty long time now. I finally sat down and figured out the most important things that I wanted to share with you guys about this certain topic, because honestly, with starting your own business, and that's what the video is on today, is starting, or how I started my business at the age of 20. Starting a business, there's so many things that people do not even realize that go into it. There's so many little things, because I'm definitely not going to be able to cover everything, but I'm going to cover the big topics that need to be covered. When I started coming up with the idea, or started realizing that I wanted to do this, was towards the end of college. So all the way through college and before college, obviously, I've always wanted to be a doctor of physical therapy. So I wanted to be a physical therapist. If you don't know, that requires 4 years, obviously, of regular college. Then after that, another 4 years, you have to get your doctorates, which means a lot of schooling, a lot of money, a lot of debt. By the end of my junior year, going into my senior year, is when I kind of started to realize that that may not be what I wanted to do. I just got tired of being on someone else's schedule, always having to be here at this time, there at this time, do this paper, do that paper. So there's a lot of other things, but I think that was just kind of the icing on the cake that made me say, you know what, I don't think I want to, one, continue on with another 4 years of school, two, be way more in debt than I already am from my 4 years that I did already just for my bachelor's, and three, after I'm done with all that, I don't really want to have to work for anybody. So that's what kind of triggered this whole, like, let me just start my own business thing. So yeah, pretty much I decided that I wanted to be my own boss. And my boyfriend actually was a big influence of this. I met him going into my last couple of years of school, and I don't know if y'all know or not, but he runs his own company. He has a couple different ones, or a few different ones actually, and that's just always what he's done. But before I ever met him, I never really was around anyone who was an entrepreneur, or people that kind of just did their own thing. So after meeting him, it really opened up my eyes. I was like, wow, this actually can be done. Like, before him, I knew obviously that there's entrepreneurs out there, but I never saw it done, firsthand, or I never was around it. So I was like, didn't, just like, some of y'all that may be watching, you just didn't know how to go about it. I am just all over the place today. My mind is like running way ahead of my mouth right now. But yeah, anyways, I never saw it done. So meeting him and being around him and seeing what went into it made me fall in love with being your own boss. So like I said, my boyfriend was a very big influence on this decision. So after I met him, my mind started to even shift even more into this mindset of starting my own thing. So one day, sitting down with him, this was like the life-changing conversation, I would say. We were, just talking about this whole topic, and he asked me a couple of questions. He was like, well, if this is what you really want to do, tell me a couple things, tell me what, intrigues you, what do you enjoy doing, most importantly, what is your passion, what is your why, what do you truly love. All I could really tell him was fashion. I loved fashion. I always knew that I loved, being stylish, loved clothes, makeup, hair, all that good stuff. So I was like a girly girl in that aspect, but I also loved fitness. So I was an athlete, so I always loved sports, I love fitness, I love that whole world. I love fashion, I loved everything about that world, but I also loved getting down and dirty and sweaty. I loved working out, I loved sports, I loved that whole aspect of things too. And I realized, like, there's a lot of girls out there that love both of those things as well. I wanted to create a brand, if it makes sense, that kind of represented both. It was funny because when me and Giovanni were talking about it on the couch, he was like, that's super dope. And I was like, dope, I like that name. And he was like, yeah, maybe you can call your brand like a dope girl, like a girl that kind of represents both, a girl that does both. And I was like, wow, there's my name. So like pretty much just the name of my company. So pretty much just from that conversation, kind of sprung my name, kind of sprung my brands. That's kind of when I figured out like exactly, what kind of direction I wanted to go into. I guess my first recommendation would be sit and talk with someone who does, what you want to do, or who has experience and knowledge in the field that you want to go into. That's definitely your first step in, starting anything. When you're super young, you definitely don't know everything, especially if you don't know where to start. The only way is to get knowledge from other people or someone who's already been there and done that. That's how we learn everything we do. Definitely reach out and sit down with someone and just have a conversation, and so many ideas will come from that conversation, and you'll probably figure out the direction and everything you need to know just from that conversation. So after I had this conversation, like I said, like probably the last year of school, and my whole last year of school, like I said, it was focused on like, okay, I need to do good, I need to get into grad school, I need to go to physical therapy school. It totally changed to, that's the only thing I could think about was my company. Like I would do my work obviously, but I would constantly find myself like daydreaming and drifting off, thinking about, oh my gosh, like what I could do this, I could sell this type of clothing, I can do this with my brand, oh I should do this type of photo shoot. Like it excited me so much, and nothing had ever done that for me. Like I never like got that excited about being a physical therapist. It was just something I was like, all right, I gotta pick a career, like let me just do this. And again, not knocking like these regular careers. If that's what your passion is, that's what your passion is. But the key about finding your passion is finding that thing that lights you up, finding that thing that you can't stop thinking about, something that excites you, because that's what's going to drive you, is that excitement, that passion that you have for whatever it may be. So like I said, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It made me like, that's all I wanted to do. And I was like, wow, I think I really found something that, I could really enjoy doing. And on top of that, and I was so glad that that came first, because I always wanted my passion and my happiness to come first and then the money to follow. So I was like, wow, I'm so happy I found something that really excites me, but on top of that, I can make money doing it. Like I said, it all started with pretty much realizing what was important to me. It was figuring out something that made me happy, that I could do on my own time, and I could do it my own way. So after I realized that, then I was blessed to meet somebody who sparked this interest, and I was blessed to meet somebody who literally is like a mentor to me, kind of, in a way. Somebody that I could literally go and watch the behind the scenes of how they do everything and pick their brain. It just happened to be my boyfriend. So I was very blessed with that. So that was my second thing, is finding somebody who inspired me, somebody who I could gain knowledge from. After I graduated college, this is when like I really put everything into my company. And it was funny because at my graduation party, my mom and Giovanni actually got me some dope girl stuff, like some apparel, just a cute little hat or something for me to wear. And from that day, I just couldn't stop thinking about my brand or working on it. So the first step that came after that was the legal stuff. So that's obviously the most important thing. You have to take care of all that, and you can easily look this up on Google, but pretty much get everything straight with the city first, whatever city you may be in. Get your business license. After that, again, I was lucky enough to have my boyfriend who already had a lot of connections, but that's why I stress that point of finding somebody who knows what they're doing, because you can, like I said, network. They can share people that they use. They can point you in a good direction. So Giovanni already had a graphic designer, so I sat down and got with the graphic designer. We set up the website, we got our logo together. He's also does like a really good computer savvy guy, so he knows how to do the websites and everything too. So got my website together, my logo, figured out what my logo was even gonna be, which that's a whole nother thing. Pretty much have to figure out what your brand is going to be in every aspect. So what you're gonna stand for, your colors, your website, what you're gonna even sell. So pretty much figure that out, and after you figure that out, you can sit down, create your website. I created all my social media accounts and got all my designs together after that. So I sat down and figured out, okay, what am I going to sell? So when I figured out what I'm going to sell, then I figured out what designs are going to go on these pieces. After I figured out all that, I figured out who my wholesaler was going to be. So I go through a wholesaler and got all the pieces and clothing that I wanted. And after that, I had to take everything to get it printed. So you have to find a printing place. And again, all of this takes money. So honestly, I had to take out a loan. It's a sacrifice that you have to make unless you're blessed with somebody who can just give you, someone who can just fork over the money. But other than that, I had to take out a loan to pretty much get me started. And once you get up and running, which takes a while, I think I've had my company for like 3 years now, and I've been working on paying the loan back and kind of getting out of the hole, because with any company, you're always going to be in the red for the first year or two, depending on the company. So yeah, that's what I had to do for the financial part of it. But ordered the clothes, got it printed, so you gotta find like a printer or whatever, good printing place. If you're getting stuff embroidered, you gotta find that. Pretty much just, that's a really big important thing, I guess, is networking and figuring out who your people are going to be, because it takes a team. You obviously can't do it yourself unless you plan on printing and designing, and if you're just good at all that and can do it all yourself, God bless you, but it's easier to do it with a team, so you can delegate different tasks to different people. The last step, the biggest step before launching, was getting a photographer. So that goes back to the whole networking thing. You need a team of people. Getting a photographer, videographer, and makeup artist, hair artist, or whatever, and setting up my photo shoot, because for me and my brand, it's apparel, so obviously you need pictures of your clothing and everything. So I set up my photo shoot and got my pictures done. At first, I just started with me. At the time, I wasn't pregnant, so I could model everything myself. But eventually, specifically with clothing, you have to, people want to see it on different people, on different models, you know. They want to see what it looks like on different sizes, different skin colors, different hair, with the shirt, or whatever the case may be. So I started with myself as the model, and then eventually, after about a year, I started sending out stuff. And you know, this is a huge social media age, so you definitely have to use that aspect of things, especially when you're like an online business. That's everything social media. So after I did my photo shoot or whatever, I had already created my social media accounts. I built the hype on social media. So on my account, on my Dope Girl account, I let people know, like, look, I'm about to launch this clothing company. You can't just come out of nowhere and say, hey, here's my stuff, buy it. Like, you have to kind of let people know what you're getting into, and let people know that this isn't just like a thing you're doing for money. Let people know that it's something that you're actually very, very passionate about. You have to get people behind you to support you, and you have to let people know what your brand is all about. So that's super important. So after I did all of that, got my pictures done, I put everything on my website. I got my website straight, made sure that was perfect. You know, and that's also another thing. You have to find a good, I don't even know what they call it, but like, I go through Shopify, but you have to find like a good online shop to put your stuff on. And again, depending on what company or type of company you want to start, there's different ones that are better for different things. But that's what I go through, and that takes time as well, because you have to like upload every single picture, and each picture needs a description. You have to put in your different sizes, your different variants, colors, everything pretty much takes time, and this is why you can't just say you're gonna start a company and do it within 2 days. It definitely took me probably about, probably honestly, I mean, like I said, I started thinking about all this my last 2 years of college. I will count that towards that because every single day mattered. Like a new thought would come in and it would add to just the brand I was trying to create. So definitely take your time and give it thought. Do not rush it. So yeah, it probably took me about 2 years in all total to like get everything together. Finally, after I got everything together, it was finally my release and launch date. So I finally released my clothing and it was the best day of my life. Everything had finally paid off. People were super excited about it and everyone loved it, thank God. And ever since, I've been rolling with it. So it's so fun, honestly, being in the little warehouse that I have. It's not even a warehouse, it's a garage. But being in my little garage and packing orders, it's honestly like my happy place and a stress-free zone for me. And that's what I love most about it. And it's a lot of work, I'm not even gonna lie. It is a lot of work. And I think being an entrepreneur in general is a lot of work because you have to wake up every single day and tell yourself, you gotta get this done. Like nobody's gonna fire you, you know, you're not answering to anybody but yourself. So you're only gonna do as good as you wanna do and you're only gonna get out as much as you put in. And there have been times where I've fallen off, where I didn't focus on my company for weeks at a time, and it definitely takes a toll. To be an entrepreneur, just understand that it's gonna take time, patience, it's gonna take a team, it's gonna take money, it's gonna take dedication and a lot of discipline. I would say discipline on top of discipline on top of discipline. But it's definitely worth it because you get to manifest your own vision and your own dreams. That's pretty much my little spiel of how I started my company at the age of 20. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was helpful. Again, there's so much more I could talk about. I could literally take each of those main things and talk about those even more. But like I said, if you have any questions, please comment or DM me on Instagram, whatever the case may be. And yeah, that's it. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.